Hey everybody, welcome. Here we go. 2025 Omaha Film Festival. We're super excited. We got so many. We're gonna start the clock on the number of times I say super excited. So that's one, and then two. I was kind of in the retelling. I don't think we count that one, but we're at one right now. Thanks for tuning in. We love that you're here. Huge shout out to Kevin Kepler right over there, minding the ones and twos, doing an amazing job. Thanks for hosting us as always. Thanks for having a better basement than most people's houses. You can see him in the shadows there. That's the way he likes it. Oh, you had your fancy new lights that you're going to turn on, but don't touch anything. Don't plug anything in. Don't turn anything on because oh, there we go. Yes, nice glow. So thank you very much to Kevin. And then on my right, on your straight ahead, we've got Liz Zellner, who is our Off Academy director, as well as doing many, many other things. I often joke that I run the festival and Liz runs me, which is probably accurate and fair. And then we got Margie Sturgeon, who is doing tons of things for us. Yay! But this year officially, she is our media relations person. Margie also runs here in Omaha, Weberized. It's a company that does podcasting. So you can go and rent their studio and do your own podcast. One thing that I think is very cool and very timely is your Valentine's Day thing. So we can talk about that in a minute. But yeah, so if you're well, why don't you talk about it right now? Tell us about your Valentine's thing.
Oh,
putting you on the spot.
It's just a cute little thing. I made some Valentine's Day cards with podcaster type puns, and you can take one when you reserve the studio.
Yep, I like it.
Oh, and then okay, you're actually talking about date night, aren't you?
I am, yeah.
Oh my gosh, okay.
100%.
So we have a little date night experience for Valentine's Day, and basically we decorate the rooms so it's romantic, and you talk with your partner.
Yep. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, good deal. All right, Weberized. Yeah, check them out. Huge, obviously, one of the biggest shout outs has to go to our host theater, ACX Cinemas, Aksarben Cinema, Bill, Sean, Andrea, Cody. You guys are incredible. Thank you very much for having we get a lot of comments from folks that come to our festival for the first time, and they're like, hey, I've never seen our film projected in such a cool spot. The ACX slide, maybe he's looking for that slide. But I've never seen my film look as good and sound as good as it does. So that's awesome that we have a legit, like a proper theater for all of our screenings. And this is real big. This is something that Liz and I worked real hard on in looking for locations. So we're big on by Omaha. So ACX Cinemas are locally owned. Bill and his family own a bunch of theaters kind of throughout the country, but right in the middle of Omaha, they own literally the coolest theater. So the fact that we're there is great. And a massive bonus is right behind it is our host hotel. So we really worked on the Hilton Garden Inn. Nikki and her team are incredible. They do a great job of hosting us. So we're excited to be there. It's nice for filmmakers. Like we go to a lot of festivals and you're Ubering a lot, you're getting on a shuttle a lot, and you can land at the airport, take an Uber down to the hotel, and then just literally everything was in walking distance. The theaters across the street, all of our after and evening parties are within walking distance. So super easy for everybody. So huge shout out to Hilton Garden Inn and Nikki. And then, day one, North Sea Films, Dana Altman, has been a massive supporter of what we do. So our office is in his building, and he just has access to a lot of industry stuff that we're super into. And I was super into is different than super excited. So that's a pass, right? Margie's giving me a half a point on that one.
Yeah,
Darn it. All right, I'm trying, guys. So thank you, Dana, for just always being very supportive of what we're doing, and that's great. And then we've got some cash sponsors as well that really helps what we're doing. So thank you very much to Nancy and the Soner Foundation. You guys have been great, have been supporting us over the years, and then it seems like the support has kind of gotten bigger each year. So we really appreciate that. Fiber First, same. They jumped on board last year for the first time, and Rachel and her team have that has grown and gotten bigger and more supportive. So and then we're welcoming Todd and Omaha Steaks back. So we love having Omaha Steaks. We've got the Omaha Film Festival, Omaha Steaks. We love having the shared name. So thank you very much to Omaha Steaks for helping us out. And this year's media partners, we can't, it's year 20. So we're excited to have we've been here for 20 years, and it freaks me out. It's just crazy. But we've been doing it, and it's been a real consistent product for everybody. But having media partners really, really helps. KVNO jumped on board a couple of years ago, and their support has continued to grow. We love everybody there. They've done an amazing job. Omaha Magazine, they've been great to us this year, and I think probably in a couple weeks, there's going to be a big story about the Omaha Film Festival in it. Unfortunately, there's pictures of me, so you'll have to kind of scroll through those, but then you'll see a great article I assume it's going to be a great article because they've been treating us great. So thank you very much to Omaha Magazine. Obviously, Weberized and Kevin Kepler are both on there. Great media sponsors of ours, so we appreciate that. And then this year, for the first time, KETV and their very local programs. So we'll talk a lot more about KETV and specifically their very local program because it impacts the local filmmakers. So if you're a local filmmaker and you're looking for kind of a streaming platform or kind of a way to get your film out there, this little program that we're working on with KETV could be very cool for you guys. So stay tuned. And there will be, when you get your filmmaker check-in bag, which we'll be sure and talk about that because Liz has done a good job with those this year. But there'll be information about very local and how to kind of get your film sort of out there after the festival. So thank you very much to KETV. And then kind of our biggest supporter every year, just financially through a grant, is the Douglas County Commissioners. So massive shout out to them. The COVID kind of hurt financially, because that money comes from tourism and all like the taxes that happen in all of the local hotels. So that money was a lot lower during COVID, but now it's kind of gotten more. So they gave us a nicer check this year, which really, really helps. So thank you very much to the Douglas County Commissioners. Yeah, so we got ourselves a festival, right? March 11th through the 16th. Check that out. Aksarben Cinema, 96 films. We've got our Off Academy, which I think is in its 10th year. March 13th and 14th. Liz will talk about that in a minute. We've got our Writers Theater, March 15th, so that's Saturday. Margie's going to talk about that in a little bit. Big shout out to Mark Albrecht. He is our script competition director. And I'm like, hey, it's our live stream. You ready? And he's like, oh, my wife's turning 50. Should I say that her? Well, I think it's on they have like I don't know, maybe not. I don't know how old I think she's 30, probably. But anyway, so his birthday blowout for her is today. So happy birthday, Anne. You're awesome. And thank you for donating Mark to us for such a big part of the year. But he runs the script competition, so all the screenwriters know who he is. And then the Writers Theater is Jennifer Morgan. And she's doing a trivia night with Brownell Talbot tonight. So good for them. So that's why they can't be here. So we've got Margie and Liz to read all this stuff. Passes are on sale right now. OmahaFilmFestival.org. All access pass, 100. Come see us. A weekend pass, if you just want to come for Saturday, Sunday, $65. 65 for an all films pass if you don't want to go to the parties and all that. But we'd love to drop $100 on that all access pass. We'd love to see for 6 days, see as many films as you can stand, see us as much as you can stand. And then the schedule for all the films that we're about to announce will go live. It'll go live sometime. Like it's mostly built, as I was hoping to have it built by now, but I went to bed at 6 a.m. What are you going to do? But it will be, I will promise that it will be live Sunday. So let's talk about Sunday. Very exciting because the Super Bowl, right? Well, I mean, sure. But something more exciting, the Omaha Film Festival's 2025 schedule is going to be live. So that's more, but that's not as exciting as Omaha Film Festival originator, director is going to be on the floor. Rob Lowe's game show. So look, and it's the Super Bowl, and then I guess we get through the Super Bowl, and then The Floor launches its 3rd season. And Jeremy hasn't told me how he did, and I'm so curious, and he just won't tell me. So we assume that he lost like in the first 12 minutes, but we'll see. Like right, we're gonna see. So anyway, that's what your Sunday looks like. You've got the Omaha Film Festival schedule. You've got, I guess there's a football game, and then check out Jeremy on the floor. That will be. He sent me a snapshot from one of the shots that he has, and there's like 100 people, which is very cool. And there's like 100 people, and then there's him in the back, and he's like, yeah, if you know Jeremy, that checks out. So looking forward to that. And then the schedule, everything is going to be on omahafilmfestival.org. So check that out tomorrow. If you want to volunteer, there's a spot on there in the About section under volunteer. Go and fill that out and send us some information. That's kind of the hack, I think, for a lot of nonprofit or a lot of events is like, I can't afford $100 to go see the thing. Sign up, be a volunteer, volunteer for half the thing, and then you can attend the rest of it for. I use my hands way too much. I see myself on the screen. I'm like, why is that guy freaking out? Anyway, a big shout out to 92 West, Troy and Jamie. They built our new website. So if you've looked at our website for the last 20 years, it's kind of looked the same. And now it looks like a little fresher, a little newer. And that's the 92 West guys. So thank you very much, Troy and Jamie, for putting up with our the things that we have that you have to put up with. So thank you for that. This year's merch, very excited about the hoodies. You'll see kind of, you'll recognize our logo, which is always the same, but we sort of zhuzhed it up a little bit, year 20, right? So we've got our hoodie, which is heather graphite. So people have been liking sort of the heather colors these last couple years. So I think we're digging the heather. So we went with a heather color on the hoodies as well. So heather graphite on those, and then heather burgundy for the t-shirts. So those will be cool. So those will be on sale at the theater, Aksarben Cinema. Come out, check out Christy on March 11th through the 16th in our merch booth. And a huge shout out to CI Shirts. They've been doing our apparel merch for over 12 years. You might be closer to 15. So Megan and the whole group over there are incredible. So thank you very much. So that's the festival. A bunch of films. We're going to talk about it in a minute. But before we do that, Liz is going to tell us a little bit about the OFF Academy. It's our 10th year, March 13th and 14th. So tell us about it. What's going on this year?
So this year we're celebrating 10 years of film education with the OFF Academy. So that's pretty exciting. The OFF Academy is a 2-day filmmaking workshop for 7th through 12th graders. It's led by local filmmaking professionals here from town. And it's supported by our Omaha Metro educators. Without those educators, without your teacher at school every day, the kids wouldn't come to the OFF Academy. So we want to say a big thank you to our educators, including Dr. Kristen Job and Jennifer Morgan. And then our alumni, it's kind of exciting. Our alumni from the OFF Academy are kind of making waves nationwide. We are now getting emails from OFF Academy students from their new job in a production company out in Los Angeles, or they're at college getting ready to graduate, or a nurse. One of our OFF Academy students just emailed me the other day and said, I just passed the NCLEX, I'm a nurse. So it's pretty great. And then also this year, we have an alumni that is in Sundance and at South by Southwest with her film. So pretty cool. Our kids are doing some pretty cool things. And we couldn't do it without our educators. So thank you to our educators. It takes a village.
It does take a village. So did you talk about I wasn't even listening. I was looking at the feed. Did you talk about the price and all that?
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, let's walk us through this.
So the price of the Academy this year is $50. The average cost of a student attending the OFF Academy is $300, but usually we have enough wonderful grants or supporters, and they offset that cost by about $250. So the cost for each student is $50. You can register online at www.eventcreate.com /e/OFF Academy. Every student receives a t-shirt and then breakfast and lunch both days of the Academy. This year it'll be at Hilton Garden Inn Ballroom, which is our official hotel.
Yep.
So filmmakers, if you're watching and you want to help out at the Academy, we'd love to have you. Just roll out of bed. You don't have to shower, just wear your pajamas and come on down. So, but yeah, got some cool stuff.
Yep, very cool. In the chat, Brandon Fiskus, so I was on his podcast. He's like, and you can enter to win passes. So if you watch, Brandon and his son interviewed me for that podcast, the Filmmakers Hangout. So look for that. And there's a question on there. If you answer it correctly, there'll be a drawing, and then you can win passes. So that would be very cool. Cool. What else, Liz? So if you guys remember, the last 2 years we've been talking about the Nathan Hewitt Memorial Scholarship Fund. That was a very successful thing for a very tragic situation. But we were able to take a chunk of that money and put it into something that I think is pretty cool. So Liz, talk about that.
So the Nathan Hewitt Memorial Scholarship Fund, Nathan's family put together for our educational wing of the festival. Because of that money, we've been able to launch our offset program. It's a brand new program that gives up to 20 students hands-on real-time experience on sets. And it also happens during the Omaha Film Festival. So anybody tuning in right now, you're going to see students in offset gear running around the festival. They're doing official work. The students will film our Q&As. They're going to do photographing at the red carpet, conducting interviews, and then every night they're going to deliver a polished final product. It's kind of an incredible opportunity, and it teaches the students how to work in the fast-paced world of live production, but it's also going to capture that energy at the film festival. So
if filmmakers, you're going to get an email from Liz here in the next few days that's going to talk about this, and then look to schedule you guys if you're in attendance. It would be cool to have you interacting with the students, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to do that. So thank you very much to Nathan's family, the new iMac, which is going to be incredible, and the offset program. So yeah, awesome. Check it out. A big part of the filmmaking process from day one for us has been the script competition. We're a film festival. So film is in the title, but we recognize that you wouldn't have films if you don't have the screenplay. So we always wanted to highlight that. Lou Hunter has been a mentor of ours, and a Nebraska guy, and he's been he taught at UCLA for so many years, and was very instrumental in helping us kind of put together our script competition. And then Jason Levering, one of the other originators of the festival, was real big on let's highlight the screenplays and do that. So Mark Albrecht, we mentioned him earlier, and his 25-year-old wife as of today runs the script competition. Jennifer Morgan is doing the Writers Theater. It occurred to me last night when I was putting all this together that all the filmmakers, we're going to talk about all the films, all the filmmakers that we announced today, those filmmakers know. Like the world doesn't know, but those filmmakers know. What occurred to me is all of these screenwriters, they know that they're a semifinalist, but these folks are going to find out right now for the first time if they're a finalist, and if they're a part of the Writers Theater. So we've got a Writers Theater, which I think Liz can talk about the Writers Theater just a little bit, and then we're going to have Margie read all of the screenplay finalist names. So Liz, talk about that Writers Theater. What's that like?
So the Writers Theater will be Saturday morning of the festival, and I believe there's 6 screenplays, and each of those screenplays we're going to take one scene from that screenplay, and actors are going to act it out in front of a live audience. And let the screenplay or the screenwriters kind of see what it looks like and what it sounds like with actors performing their work. Yeah. So pretty neat.
Very neat. Very good stuff. Cool. Well, without further ado, drum rolls and nerves and everything else. But we've got a bunch of semifinalist screenplay writers, and now for the first time, Margie is going to read who our finalists are for our script competition. So Margie, take it away.
Here we go. Under features, we have All Inclusive by Allison Morgan, Aqualand by Luke Hunter, Aria by Stephen Keith Bogart, Harlem Hustle by Mackenzie Blake Burton.
You have a slide for this, Kevin.
Hearts in Cellophane by Thomas Paul Rossi, Pro-Life by Leah Simmons, Sequoia Blue by Josiah Signor, The Only Uber in Nebraska by Elise Sivert Buchan, The Paris by Daniel Talbot, The Salesman by Adam Siddell.
And you'll notice down at the bottom, that little asterisk, that denotes who is going to be participating in the Writers Theater this year. So congratulations, Mackenzie and Daniel from the features. You folks are going to be in our Writers Theater this year. So we're really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And then we got some teleplay finalists. Tell us about it, Margie.
Teleplays. We have Grown Ass Theater Kids by Benjamin Adams, Space Case by Michael Brewer and Carlos Gabriel Ruiz, The Age of the Empath by Steve Brown, The 411 by Allison Morgan, 8 by Mikkel Schick.
And then, yeah, you'll see we've got 2 of those as part of our Writers Theater as well. So congratulations to those, to Benjamin and Allison. And then shorts.
Shorts. We have A Soul for a Song by Sakan Tour, Bubble Love by Ben Copeland, End Time by Mikhail Schick, Mailman by Robin Scoville, Mount Fuji Sunrise by Thomas Paul Rossi, Reheated by Jeffrey Howe, The Adventure of the German Student by Doug Sassy, and The Wave of the Future by Lavender Gill.
Awesome. And then congratulations to Thomas and Jeffrey. It looks like you guys are in the Writers Theater this year. So, yeah, it's going to be great. We're going to move it. It's sold out the last 3 years in Theater 6 at the Aksarben Cinema. So we're moving the Writers Theater over to the Hilton Garden Inn Ballroom. So I think the lighting is going to be better. The sound is going to be better. It's going to be kind of
Space.
there'll be a lot more space.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's going to be fun over there. So we're really looking forward to that. So that's the screenplay. So congratulations, all you guys. Fantastic. Oh, I see Mikal. Mikal, are we pronouncing your name correctly? We should have. Yep. So I see you're in the chat, and then Daniel, you're in the chat. So that's awesome. Good for you guys. Films, 96 films. We've got 37 different screenings. We've got feature films, documentaries, short film blocks. We've got this year 12 narrative feature films. And we've got 11 documentaries. You know, back in the day, we used to do like 6 or 7 docs. But now it's, you know, people are more interested in documentaries. They're seeing them on Netflix and Hulu, and like people are more into documentaries. So we're showing more and more. So this year, we've got 11 of them. So 2 of which are Nebraska made. One of them is No Place Like Nebraska, and one of them is The Roseman of Omaha. So that's kind of spoiled what's coming up here in a little bit, didn't it? Because Margie's like, oh man, I was going to talk about that. But those are kind of our local Nebraska Spotlight documentaries. So congratulations to them. We've got 24 short films in our Nebraska short film block. We've got 13 shorts in our animated block, and then we've got 5 blocks of shorts that aren't Nebraska or animated. So there's 32 of those representing like USA, Cambodia, Germany, Australia, Austria, Germany, Canada, Portugal, Spain. We've got a bunch of countries represented, so that is always a neat thing. Oh, I spoiled 2 of your documentaries, Margie. Sorry about that. Another part of, you know, so all these films that we're going to talk about in a second are in competition. So, you know, unfortunately, kind of, film festivals are a competition. So we give away, we've got prizes. So our top jury prize for feature and documentary, I think, is $1,000 this year. And then for our shorts, they're going to get a $500 check. So congratulations in advance to those. But in addition to the scripts and all the films that are in competition, we do like to have some special screenings as well. One that we're very excited about is Holland. So you may not have heard of Holland, but it's literally world premiering at South by Southwest 2 days before our opening night, and then we have it as our opening night film. So Nicole Kidman is in it. I watched it last week. It's great. She's great. Kind of a very different role for her. It's a thriller, and it's definitely an interesting flick. So check that out for our opening night film, and then our closing night film. Also very interesting is The Assessment. Very futuristic, we have a lot more sci-fi this year than we typically do. So that's also spoiling some of our, kind of a lot of our features. But we usually don't get a lot of sci-fi. And this year we just have a ton of great stuff. And The Assessment is, stars Elizabeth Olsen and Alicia Vikander. Himesh Patel's in it. Kind of 3 main actors that really carry the whole piece. And it's fantastic. 87% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. It world premiered at TIFF last fall, and now we have it as our closing night film. So very, very super exciting. And then we got features in competition. I think Liz is going to talk about those. There's 12 of them, so walk us through it.
Before I talk about
Yes,
those, I
please.
just want to say that Jeremy Decker is in the chat.
Is he? Yay,
Yeah.
Jeremy.
So hopefully he's enjoying hearing about you talk about him.
I wonder if he was on early enough
Yeah.
to hear about that.
So anyway, all right. So let's get back to features. Jeremy, thank you for tuning in. So officially, yeah, I'll kick it off. Okay, I'm going to stop talking now.
Start topping so you can start topping.
Exactly.
Yes.
So Love Danielle by Mariana Polka. Motherland by Evan Matthews, and I believe that's going to be a world premiere.
Yeah, it's a world premiere, yep.
Project Alexander by Jonathan Fred Camden. Psychonaut by Thais Mayusa. I apologize if I mispronounced.
I think you did good.
Saturn by Eric Esau. Sheepdog by Stephen Graham. Step Back, Doors Closing by Carter Ward. Waltzing Matilda by Peter Slavic. The Ballad of a Hustler by Aitor Dahlia. The Fetch by J.C. Doler. The Grand Strand by Luke Lauder, and I believe this is going to be another world
Yep,
premiere.
that is a world premiere.
And then Unholy Communion by Patrick Coyle.
Yep, fantastic. Patrick's from Nebraska, so he's going to come back. He's teaching up in, I think, Minnesota, but he's going to come back, and I think he's going to bring a bunch of people out there, so that one will be a fun one. So yeah, got a great slot of, I mean, we work so hard on our judging process. I mean, we start in May. And it whittles down throughout the year, and then it culminates into one day of, like, we're sitting there with all of our short film judges, and then hours later our doc judges and our feature judges and our screenplay judges, and we spend like a whole day like just really going through. And you know, we take our judging process very seriously, and it's something that's, you know, as filmmakers or artists ourselves, art is so subjective, so it's hard to say this piece of art yes, this piece of art no, which is kind of what a film festival does, but we hate to look at it that way. What we look at it is like real estate. We have X number of amount of hours to fill in 6 days. We'd like to highlight, you know, these films, and this year we've got the 96 films that we have, and there's a matrix that all of our judges fill out, and it boils down to a number. So your film got a 66 or it got an 88 or whatever. But the last thing we want to do is base a piece of art that gets in or doesn't get in on a number. So we literally sit down. I think our short film meeting was 6 hours this year. I know the features and doc meetings were over 2 hours a piece. The screenplay folks, they actually meet several times because we have to do semifinalists and finalists, but we take it very seriously. So we literally will take the 150 feature films that we have and go through each one of them and figure out, like, this one, its merits, you know, screening in Omaha, etc. So yeah, so it's a long process, but it's one that we take very seriously. And yeah, we want to support all artists. As I tell people all the time, it's literally the hardest day of my year is saying, dear filmmaker, this film didn't fit in our program this year. It's still great. We still support you. Keep doing what you're doing. We love you. But it just, you know, I always want to show on that day in mid-January, I want to show 500 films. And then during the festival, I'm like, why did we accept so many films? 96 is too many. So, but all good. Thank you for everyone that submitted, and apologies to anyone that got a declination note from us. Hopefully everyone understands. I've got a lot of nice notes from filmmakers this year that are like, I understand, thank you, and, you know, enter us in the future and all that. So, but without further ado, we've got 11 documentaries that are all incredible, and we've got Margie here to talk about it.
Yay.
Yay.
Okay. Documentaries. We have Beyond the Gaze, Jewel Campbell's Swimsuit Issue by Jill Campbell. Emergent City with Kelly Anderson, J. Arthur Sterenberg. For the Living by Mark Bennett and Tim Roper. I Need You, 53 Years of the Band America with Dustin Elm and David Breschel. No Place Like Nebraska by Jennifer Carson Strauss and Madeline Runlet. Porcelain War by Brendan Bellomo and Slava Anyev. The Fishing Hat Bandit by Mark R. Brown. The Hobby, Tales from the Tabletop by Simon Ennis. The Opener by Jeff Toy. The Pantone Guy by Patrick Creedon and The Roseman of Omaha by David M. Weiss.
Fantastic. Great slate of films. To go back up, the No Place Like Nebraska is about the 2023 volleyball team. A lot of behind the scenes stuff. So that's made by ESPN Films. So they have a 60-minute cut of the film. So you will have seen like clips of that kind of on ESPN and some of the different platforms, but they have a fresh kind of a cut just for us that's 60 minutes. And I think that will be great. We're really hoping that some of the players who are playing for the Omaha Supernovas now, it'd be great to have them in the audience, and I think that would be a lot of fun. Obviously, The Roseman of Omaha, David's film, is going to be great. I want to point out one film that you mentioned, Porcelain War, Oscar nominated. So we've got an Oscar nominated film. So of all the films that make through the Oscar process, they are one of 5 films that are in the Oscars. So it will be interesting to see. We'll know like literally a few days before the festival if they won or not. So obviously we're pulling for them, and that will be a great time. So yeah, great documentaries. Thank you, Margie. You did a great job. Good stuff. And that's just the first part. We've got a ton of shorts to go through.
We have a lot of shorts.
Liz, walk us through the animated short. We always put animated shorts in one block, so it's the Saturday, I think it's 12 or 12:30. So be sure and check that out. But without further ado, what do we got?
So first animated short is A Night at the Rest Area by Saki Muramoto. Allure by Jerry Van de Beek and Betsy DeFries. Bippy the Little Robot by Glenna C. Burmer. Bloom In by Avery Robinson Ruda. Christo the Civilized Barbarian by Shadi Safadi. Core by Yu Xiang Chun. Darwin the Dreamer by Don Dixon. Dogwood by Noni Shiverick. Happy Life by Sarah Caldwell. Inkwell for When the Starving Return by Amanda Strong. Les Charade by Erica Totoro. Marisol Writes an Email by Matt J. Weber. And The Nectar Instead by Yu Lee.
Great slate, 94 films of, there's 94 minutes of animated shorts. I love seeing them back to back, like different stories, different animation styles, different, it's always like a very, very popular block. So yeah, come out and check that out on Saturday. We're an international festival. We've got, I read some of the countries that some of those films were from, but we do like to highlight our local filmmakers. Without our local filmmaking community, we wouldn't really have a festival. That's kind of how we started as a part of that community. So we always do 4 Nebraska short blocks. Congratulations to all of them. We got over 8 hours of Nebraska shorts this year, which is a ton. And I'm always like, that's awesome, but sorry, half of you aren't going to make it. So I know it's a bummer for getting the declination letter, but again, it's kind of real estate. So, but we want to highlight and celebrate the filmmakers that got in. So without further ado, we got Margie to talk about what made it in.
Yeah, here we go. Nebraska shorts. A Laurel Wreath by Christine Burright. A Sleepless Land by Sam Sensor. Becoming Sam Phillips by Katie Stoneburner. Bobby Hayden Church, Brother Number 2 by Christine Burright. Cry Night by Lauren Vanna and Tony Bonacci. Daylight Savings by Nolan McWhorter. Dirt by Ike Somanas. Father John Shea by Jerome Bustata. Go by Cameron Logston. Juice by Rachel Williamson. Nebraska's 400 by Miles Ian Landaw. No More Good Meat Cutes by Christine Burright and Chance Gouda. Sorry.
That wasn't a question. It's Chance Gouda.
There was no question mark there. I'm sorry. Please Stand By Tim Guthrie. Sam's Senior Year, an Adaptive Soccer Story. Julia Enright. So Lucky by Hannah Peterson. Styled with Love by Bree Fripp. The Beat Goes On by Autumn Shear. The Bike Listening Tour by Nate Mitka. The Burning of a Beggar by Kale Hospodka. The Wicked Flea by Quincy Terrace Christian. To the State of the Good Life by Robert Stephen Williams. Truth Detector Regifted by William Relaford. Turnover by Rick Endicott, and Uncle Al by Nate Krieger.
Awesome. Great
Yeah,
job.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Great.
So yeah, we want to celebrate and highlight our Nebraska filmmakers. I will say that there's a chunk of films that came out of the Creighton University Tim Guthrie's program. So congratulations to all the college students that have films in. And then it's cool to get Rick Endicott, who his movie Turnover runs the film school down in Lincoln. So it's always great when we get the Lincoln students get their films in, and it's great when their teacher makes a film as well. So we're happy to highlight that. Now, the big chunk, 32 films, 5 blocks, running Wednesday night through Saturday night. Very international, lots of amazing films, lots of films that were like at Sundance, and a lot of films that were, had some cool highlight things. So congratulations to all these films. So without further ado, I should say before we go on, back on the Nebraska shorts, the film Please Stand by Tim Guthrie, that was in our Writers Theater last year. So if you folks came to the Writers Theater, that was one of the scripts that you would have seen. So I love having a film made from something that people sit in the audience, they see a script, they're like, I need to find that writer, and then I want to make that film. And so super cool to see that come full circle and actually be made into a film. So without further ado, Liz, read us some 32 films.
All right, here are our shorts.
Yep.
So 8/25/2004, 251 by Jeremy Lerman. A Job Like Any Other, Nicholas Batchelder. Adidas Owns the Reality by Kyle Orion Troisi and Igor Vamos. I can't talk now. Ambush at St. Mary's, Anthony Parisi. Catacombs by Chad Cunningham. Darcene's Day by Aaron Goffman. Do You Still Know Birds by Elizabeth Wolfinger. Everything There Is to Know About Me by Yale Grunzeit. Flug by Leopold Shroudoff and Danny Rose Cortez. Hat Trick by Tess Lafia and Homebody by Brian Hosing. I Do Without You by Vivian Miranda. Icebox by Patrick Ray.
By the way, Icebox was also a Writers Theater. Within the last couple of years, we had Icebox, and then Patrick down in Kansas City made that film. So very cool. Keep going.
Just Like Denver by Thomas Ronka. Most Likely to Succeed by Ty Hudson. Ow by Laura Delhauer and Jack Merling.
I like the emphasis on that one.
Sick Day by Hughes Ransom. Sorrows of Yesterday by Kevin Saunders and Phil Stevens. The Chain by Tom Hipp. The Ghost by Allison Morgan. The Open Door by Dean Ronalds. The Position by David Barnett. The Understudy by Peter Pasick. The Well by Philip Miles Orduna and Sarah Young. Thomasville by Alex Woodruff. Toots by Chris Allen Evans. Two Breaths by Katerina Kurganska. Unholy by Daisy Friedman. Unsaid by Monique Moses. Vision by Dan Paris. What Men Do for Love by Sai Karan Tulwar. What We Don't Say by Josep M. Perez Bayano.
Fantastic.
There we go.
For our slate. Yeah. So we've got a couple more special screenings that we're working on. We've got a great kind of selection that we're excited to announce, but we'll be announcing those kind of separately over the next couple weeks. But yeah, it's going to be a great festival. It's our year 20, so we really kind of wanted to launch it and have it be kind of a neat experience for everyone. So, I think we've certainly had that. Looking at the chat, you guys are great. Thank you very much. I'm trying to love and like and do all the things with everybody. Thanks to everyone who's excited about all of this. And I know this will, once we close out, it's going to be live on Facebook for a while. I want to say, so in the past, we've always, like when we did this in person, 2020 and back, we would always have like a room set up where we'd play all the trailers for all the films that we had access to. And that was always like, you can drink and you can hang out, and you can meet people, and or you can go sit for a little bit, watch trailers, and then go back out and do things. Since we've been doing them on live stream, we would program all of the trailers to be at the end of this, and then you can stay tuned in and watch. or you can log in tomorrow and watch them after the fact. But so we're not going to do that this year. So one of the things that we want to do is to start kind of pushing our YouTube channel. So the Omaha Film Festival has had a YouTube channel for 8 years. I have had the password for about a month and a half. I don't think we posted anything for probably 7 years. So, but we have one. So we have 53 subscribers, which is amazing. But that should be 1,000, or it should be more. But we need to have content. We need to do more stuff. So we're going to start doing more things over on YouTube. So I've been putting up like all of our old sizzle reels. One of the coolest things about what we do is our sizzle reels that David Weiss does for us every year, and then Corey Hart did it before. So he is going to be working on that. When he's not working on the Roseman of Omaha, he'll be working on our sizzle reel. So all the feature filmmakers, I've been asking you, hey, send me your trailers, and so it's for that reason. So he will be working on that. So that will be up. But also I do have all the trailers that I have. So I think my plan is tonight or tomorrow to on YouTube, just put all the trailers that we have right now out there. And that way you guys can tune in and just sort of whenever you feel like it, you can check that out. Is there an exact date for Motherland, or is that listed at a later date? Good question. No, we do not have the schedule posted yet. These are announcements of the films that are in. The schedule is pending. It's a work in progress. I will have it. I've committed to having it tomorrow, so it will be up. It might happen tonight, but that seems like a long shot. So, but it's coming, and you will know very, very soon. Yeah, very, very cool. YouTube. I mean, if you want to go look at it now, there's some cool stuff up there. We did a few years worth of our Writers Theater. So these are older, and they're not super pro. We like to be kind of pro, but they're just good, like a camera pointing at the Writers Theater folks. So, but it's neat to see a script come to life a little bit. So you'll see some older ones of those, and then I think probably about 12 years of sizzle reels, and then you will be able to check those out. And then new stuff. We're going to start doing some more things. I wish I knew someone who knows about podcasting and such, sitting right across the room, that actually owns a company that that does podcasts. So we'll be talking more about that. The schedule will be live tomorrow, I promise. OmahaFilmFestival.org. Look on the films tab, and you'll see that. And I don't know, without further ado, usually Kevin talks. Like he's the only the professional broadcaster out of this group.
Yeah.
But he was afraid that if he said more than 2 words, he'd start coughing. Exactly. So
yeah, sorry about
that's
that.
why he's sitting clear over there and not right here. So so thanks to Kevin, as always, for donating your basement to us. Fantastic. Did we show the God Cam? Did we see what the whole room looks like?
Something happened to the GoPro.
Oh, is it not? I mean, it looks good. Camera 3, yeah. see, look at
it
that.
all cropped out.
Oh, yeah, it
Look
looks
what
weird.
happened. It just reset.
Oh man, because that's always kind of a fun
kind of a
shot.
weird-
I guess we looked at it at the beginning, didn't we?
Yeah.
When we were introducing you. So
super
But yeah,
weird.
now it's 4:3. What's
Yeah.
up with 4:3, by the way?
I don't know.
Like I'm a 239 guy for sure. I'm a 1920 by 1080, like a 16 by 9 guy.
2-1.
But yeah, square and 4:3. Like so many filmmakers are doing that these days. So I need to sit down with the young people and talk about vertical video and talk about 4:3, and I need to educate myself and learn and be a smarter, better person.
Good luck with all of
Yeah,
that.
I know. Good luck. I'm not great at learning and being smarter or better. Thank you very much. Aksarben Cinema is going to be your home for 6 days. Hopefully, buy your passes on our website right now. Yeah. Without further ado, I think that's what we got. Any other notes before we go?
I only counted one super excited. Did I miss the bunch?
Wow, look at me. I was so I have no idea what I said for the last 45 minutes because all I was doing is thinking about trying not to say that.
Well,
You know what I mean?
There you
So
go.
hopefully everything else made sense to everybody. So yeah, thanks a lot. I will tell you that we in this room and the rest of the festival staff are super excited to have this year's 20 annual film festival. Thank you very much. And
Super.
we are signing out. See you in a month.
Thank you.